An example of a good developer persona is this: a very simple persona. So this person, Jane, is the name we're going to call the developer, is a mobile developer. She develops mobile applications for Android devices, which means her niche is Android development, mobile Android development. She uses Kotlin and Java to build her apps. She has been building this app for 3 years. What does this tell us about the user? It tells us that, first of all, Jane is not entry level. She's by the assumption she should be mid-level, given the 3 years, assuming 3 years experience has been used to do something tangible, she should be mid-level. Now her niche is Android. Her skill set is Kotlin and Java for building mobile applications. So with this simple information, the simple persona, we know the niche, we know the operating system she builds for, we know what she does, Kotlin and Java, and how long gives an idea of her expertise, the level she is, which is mid-level. Now imagine that the company you are marketing for, or the company you are advocating for, the company you're an ambassador for, is an SDK targeting mobile developers. And now with this, and the idea is that we need developers who are mid-level. Jane suits that, she's mid-level. Our SDK is based in Java. But because Java and Kotlin can be used together inside Android Studio, which is the tool that she uses to build, then we can now say that, okay, she can use the SDK alongside Kotlin, and that's fine. We can target Jane as this. But we need to be more detailed. We need to ask more questions. So allow us to know, is Jane really going to be the person that needs this product? Remember, the product is SDK for developers who are building mobile. That's the SDK. Questions we need to ask further are 3 more questions. There could be more, but let's use 3 more. What kind of online communities is Jane likely to be a part of? Will I find her in GDG, Lagos, GDG, Aba? Will she come to DevFest? Will she come to Oscar Fest? Will she come where? What kind of communities is Jane likely to be a part of? Stack Overflow? Is it Reddit? Where can we find 5 more Janes? Where can we find 18,000 more Janes? Where can we find 3,000 more Janes that we can market our product to? Once we get the answer first, with our marketing strategy will now be going to meet Jane, that place she is. If we can find 3,000 Janes at DevFest Lagos or DevFest Aba, and we can propose to sponsor the next event. So we can go and meet the 13,000 more Janes at the event to speak to them about the product. The next question is, what type of conference, events, meetups will she be interested in? Is she going to go to workshops, meetups, or conference like DevFest, bigger conferences in Nigeria, outside Nigeria? So of course, we know by this, she's going to be attending mobile events. So if there's a web conference coming up, she will not, because that's not her niche. She's looking for mobile conferences, Java conferences, Kotlin conferences. If Judy is having a Kotlin fest, she will go, whatever conference that connects to her building apps, she's going to go there. The next question is, how does Jen learn? How does she learn? Is she a video person? Does she learn via video? Or she like text, blog, guides? This question is very essential, especially to draft the core educational medium for the company. If we have 3,000 more Janes, and we discover that 2,000 of them prefer to learn via text, it means that our efforts for educational-based content, education is the core way to get developers, is to create a blog. Companies have a blog, they invest in the blog, developer content hub, they put articles, tutorials, they do their best to make sure the hub is packed with value so that all the Janes that want to learn will learn because they can learn via text. If the other Janes, or the majority of the Janes as a user persona, a developer persona in this case, prefer to learn via video, it means that we need a budget. Our developer marketing and evangelism, whatever ambassadorship program, will be tailored towards videos. Invest more in YouTube, create videos, upload, probably TikTok. Video is Reels, go to TikTok, put their stories, we invest in videos. So when you look at developer first companies, developer plus companies, take a look at how are they creating awareness? How are they educating developers? Majority of them are focused on text. Text is cheaper, yes, but then text is easy to edit text, right? Because, if we are building, I think we had an issue at the company I was consulting for at the time. We launched the first SDK, and the dashboard was tied with the SDK. We did the video, although I advised that we should wait, because since the next SDK will alter the dashboard and the UI, let's wait so that we can do the video at once. They rejected, that's okay, that's fine, no voila. So I did the video, marketed the product, the SDK, we pushed on YouTube, we edited, put on TikTok, it was marketed. 3 weeks later, the engineers finished the product, and of course, everything changed. The UI, the dashboard, the SDK integration method, everything changed. So that makes the video that was done the last time, because old video, is not current. If you use it, it's not going to work. So you have to regain, of course, a new budget, spend more money to edit the video from scratch to suit in the new design. So most companies are shying away from video because it's expensive, it's hard to edit. Startups are trying to find new things to do. But then videos are fine, very good, because most people go to YouTube, they search, and they find videos and they learn. Text is also good as well. So whatever thing you decide, think about the user persona. How does Jane want to learn? How does she want to, get knowledge? Developers are very fond of, Googling things as an error, as a bug. How does it work? The Google, the search. So we need to be there so that Jane will see us. In all of the journey for Jane looking for solutions to be calling Android apps, let Jane find us. That's the entire aim of it. So there's a whole lot of things going on there, but the persona is the first step to getting it done. Other questions could follow, so what is Jane's motivation? Is she really want to build a startup, or she wants to work for a company? Or they could be minor, but then they're very good questions to ask. You know how to support Jane further and see how that works. Because an example is Firebase. For those who know, Firebase is a Google product for developers. If Jane is building with Firebase just for fun, then there's no need to market to Jane or to write about how to use the enterprise version of what she's building. But if Jane wants to use Firebase for her products, to build an app on Play Store to monetize, then talk to Jane about our enterprise feature. So why is Jane going to use our product? That's where DevRel comes into the perspective. So Jane has known about the SDK. She liked the SDK. It's not part of her toolkits, but she needs support. She has error. How do I fix it? DevRel comes into the space. So how do we convince Jane to go further, upgrade her? So their trial feature for some people, they have try for 7 days for free. If you're done, you upgrade, or they give you a credit, credits threshold. Only you have like 10 credits. We finish, you have to subscribe. So how do we get Jane to subscribe after she's done with her 10 credits? That's the job of DevRel, and definitely dev marketing have to come together to achieve that. So that is the entire conversation regarding developer personas.